Good morning, champions. Coach Tina here. Give me a minute. Let me get this going in the feed so that we can all be in the right spot at the right time, doing stuff together. So, of course, it's not just right there where I want it. It must be the internet this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Go ahead and let me know if you are watching. I am trying to get this posted into the featured section so that all of us can be notified. And it is not coming up on my feed. So I'm going to go back one step and come back in. Come on, baby. What have we got? Okay. I am not seeing it. I'm not going to spend any more time on it. I would love to be posting it, but not happening. So guess what, you guys? We are talking about having favor on your face. And I am so excited to talk about this topic today for a couple of reasons. But the one that is most important is that something made me smile a lot this week. And I was wondering, what is something that has made you smile recently? Because one of the things that is favor on our face is when we are smiling, right? When we recognize it. Okay, Margaret is seeing that we are on. And good morning, Margaret. Let's see what I can do here. I'm going to try it one more time. There we go. We are good. And I'm pinning it to featured so that we can get more of us watching. What is something that has made you smile recently? I'm going to tell you guys what made me smile recently. And it has to do with Margaret, who is watching. I was watching, like a lot of us, the Time to Rise Summit with Tony Robbins this last week. And I believe it was Friday. So day 2 of the summit. About halfway through, he opened the cart, which is the salesy way to say he started giving his promotion for UPW in March. And Margaret messaged me and she said, "Oh my gosh, did you see yourself?" And it was so funny because I was on Zoom and Margaret was on Facebook. And my first thought was, I don't have my camera on, I'm at work. And I thought, how did she see me? And then it dawned on me. And then I went, she's not even on the same platform I'm on. She didn't see me. She saw me. And it was because a couple of months ago, I got contacted by the Tony Robbins Research Institute. So it's Robbins Research Institute. And I was asked if I wanted to create a promo video just talking about my experience with UPW. And I like to make videos, right? I like to be on video. It took me a while. I didn't used to like to make videos, but now when I have homework assignments and stuff, I will make them. And so I did a Tony video. And it was funny to me because we had already moved, but I was in the middle of the move and I was like, I'll do this, but like I was out of my element. I felt stressed and frazzled and so on. And I literally forgot about it. So when the promo went up, I wasn't thinking about it until Margaret said something to me. And I didn't even get to watch the promo until like Saturday. But basically about halfway through the promo, what Margaret said was she heard my voice and she looked up at the screen because she was like, why do I hear Tina's voice? And then I had just like a little 3-4 second clip of me finishing up the thought about how UPW changed my life. And what a fun thing, right? And then I had to start thinking about it. I was like, so this is the second time a promo of me has made it into Dean picked me one time. And then, maybe it was Dean that picked the Tony thing and set that up. But whatever it is, it made me think of my mentor who talks about, he says this all the time, there's favor on your face. Now, and so my thought at that moment was, what am I doing? Like, what does this mean? What is the pattern? When something happens once, it's a fluke. When it happens twice, you need to pay attention. You need to be thinking about, like, what does this mean in my life? And other than feeling very blessed, I was just like, wow, I took action. I did something and I got a fun result. And I mean, the thing is, what is it, right? It's free advertising for them, but I get to, you know, all of you know that I have such a strong association with Tony and I feel so close to his work and I love what he does. And then what a bonus for me to be in the same video. If people talk about being on the stage with Tony, I wasn't really on a stage, but I was in the same promo ad. So how fun is that? And so many of you have reached out and said things to me. The other friends that have been watching and people saying, "Oh, I noticed you." And so I clipped the video and I put it into Facebook on my personal profile. And people have been saying, "Hey, I saw you," or "That was great," or "Lucky." And, you know, it's just fun. It's just fun. I put 5 seconds of fame. That's really what it was. And Margaret is saying that I'm a superstar. And she saw me before in that mastermind profile. So the thing is, it's really interesting to just think about the moments in your life where something shifted, something changed, you got a different viewpoint. And I don't know what this one's about. I don't know why there's favor on my face in that area, but it certainly has made me realize, you know, like what's next? What could happen with this? What's the possibility? And, you know, what's really fun for us is that Chris and I are starting our year in what's known as a platinum year with the Tony Robbins organization. And that is their high level membership. And that's where we're going next week. We're going to Whistler on Saturday. We're so excited. It's going to be a smaller group of Tony people. And I don't know. It's going to be fun. I'm just excited about the adventure. But the reason I was going there is that the membership, I'm losing my train of thought. Not going to lose my train of thought. The membership it's something unusual. It's something that I'm striving towards. It's something above and beyond. I know what it was. Because we're Plat members, we get tickets to UPW at a reduced price, and people can come in and be a part of the events that we do as our guests at a reduced price. So all the people this whole year. So I think there's going to be 3 UPWs. It's usually how it goes. There's the one in March, there's one in the summer, and then there's one in November. And so when we put the promotions out to people, when we say, "Hey, do you want to buy a ticket?" I now have a video that I can be like, "Hey, here's what UPW is like." And pay really close attention to the middle of the ad because, hey, special message. And it's really fun. So like my kids think I'm totally nutso on Tony and, you know, drinking the Kool-Aid, and they say all the stuff that they want to say about something that's unusual to them. Mom is acting a different way than she's acted before. And it's disconcerting to them, right? They're like, "Ooh, mom's making a change and mom's been this way our whole life. And now what's happening?" And so they're a little bit concerned about it. But when they get to see this video, I think they're going to be like, "Wow, whatever mom is doing, there's some validity behind it. There's some excitement. They get it now that I've been working in a fun way," right? And Margaret is just chatting away in here. I love it. I love it. And she says, yes, people are so weird about other people making change. And it's true. It is definitely true. And especially when it's your kids. And I mean, I recognize it with my own parents, right? Like I saw them doing stuff and I was like, okay. But it's all part of the process. As we grow, we change. And the people around us got to get used to that, right? So let's talk more about favor. And we're going to talk about the definition first. So as I started thinking about favor on your face and what that meant to me and what was happening, I was recognizing that favor is approval or support or liking someone or something. It's also just kindness. And that's what made me think about the smile, right? There's favor on your face. And one of the things that we can do is we connect with people through person to person or screen to screen, if you will. And that is a kindness. That is a looking at someone. That is recognizing them. I always like to make eye contact with like people that I check out with in the stores. And the rule of thumb is look at someone long enough to see their eye color. And so I always will. And a lot of times I will comment on people's eye color. Number one, because I know it's my focus area, right? So I'm focusing on their eyes, but I'll say, wow, you have gorgeous eyes, or that beautiful color blue, or I love the way you've done your makeup. And it's an acknowledgement that I am connecting with them, that I am looking at them, that I'm smiling, that I'm not just going through the motions of life and not recognizing that there are people around you. And that's a form of kindness. But we all know that a smile is the easiest thing that you can do to change your state, to change the state of people around you. We've all been in a store or something and seen someone that has a smiling personality. Like joy just oozes off of them, and they can change the state of like a coffee shop. They walk in all full of bustle and excitement and they're saying hi to people and you feel it. And that can all just happen from a face. Think about being in a car next to someone and you look at them and you smile. That is a changing of the atmosphere. So let me check the messages really quick. Yes. Margaret is saying 100%. She agrees. So let's talk about favor. Interestingly enough, the mentor that I'm working with is and says favor. There's favor on your face. It's a scriptural reference. So I wanted to go see what the biblical meaning behind favor was. And what's interesting to me, I do a lot of associating the Hebrew. So the original language that the Bible was written in is the Hebrew language. And Hebrew is this rich, even though it's not a spoken language anymore, or I guess it is, but it's not used as much. The letters had meaning in addition to the words. And so it's this very rich language, and it has all of these different flavors of understanding, and it has to do about context and so on. But one of the things that it talks about is word meaning. And so favor in the Bible is also the word for face. So in the Bible, when things are said more than once, it's a pay attention. So in a sense, this discussion about favor on your face is like saying, this is super important that there's favor on your face. And so I did a little bit a deeper dive because I was thinking about things, and my life is such that there's always these serendipity moments, things that are synchronized coming together. And so I'm also reading a book, and I've just finished this book on Moses, and it was a recommendation from a friend. I think his name is Brian Godawa, and he's written the Old Testament in these like huge volumes of different characters, and he builds this whole story of the mythology and different viewpoints from the Bible, bringing it together. And it's pretty intense. But I just happened to read Moses, and one of the things about Moses was when he met with God, it's recorded in the Bible that after he would have these sessions with God, his face would shine. And so there was favor on his face. And so when I'm trying to think of the way to say this, because to me, it made so much sense. So when there's favor on your face, God is looking, he's turning towards you. And so that's a blessing. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But what I want to say is that when his face shone, when he met with God, all of us have had those God moments in our life, those moments that light you up, right? Like it's a miracle that happens and you're like, oh my God. And it changes your countenance. And so that favor on your face, right? And there's even the scripture is actually that he makes his face shine on us. And that has to do with that presence, that shifting and representing God with you and God in you. And for those of you that haven't heard my whole thing about you are designed by God for greatness and a purpose, greatness is in the Bible. God was greatness. Well, if we're built in the image of God, we have that greatness within us. It's part of who we are. And that's the whole point of my group, is that we learn about our greatness, we grow that greatness, and we share our greatness. And it's within you already. You don't have to do anything. You just have to recognize that it's there. And so this favor on your face, to me, when I watched the little trailer and saw it and I thought about, what is going on here? I recognize that, which is the point that I want to make here, is that favor is a blessing. So that little simple act of putting my couple of seconds on the screen was favor and blessing on me for the work that I'm doing. It was a simple act of kindness of just, hey, I saw your effort and I appreciate you. And it wouldn't have happened if I was hiding. And that's going to be the third point about how we do things. But let's talk about favor for ourselves. Okay. So you're not going to share your face if you're not okay with who you are. You're going to hide. You're going to disappear almost. And so one of the very simple things that we can do is favor our face in the mirror. Every time we look at ourselves, even if it's a camera, photos of ourselves, show favor to yourself. Look for the good when you look at yourself, not seeing your flaws first, not bringing yourself down. Speak love into yourself. Mel Robbins does the give yourself a high five in the mirror whenever you see yourself. Right? I'm a big one for Post-it notes or index cards, and I put them around my mirror as a way to remind me of my affirmations and the things that I'm thinking of, the parts of me that I want to bring out and add value to the world with. That is how you can show favor on your face and on your spirit, on your soul, right? Don't disconnect from you. Like, I know that I went through a period of my life where I didn't even see myself. I just went through the motions. I would brush my teeth, brush my hair, but I wasn't looking at my soul. I wasn't saying, wow, how amazing are you? You just keep doing this stuff. You keep showing up. You're taking care of your kids. You're loving in a manner that makes people feel good about themselves, right? Like, I wasn't doing that. I was just making the steps, trudging through, trying to make it through every day. And I wasn't appreciating my own efforts. So show favor on yourself. And I'm going to check my notes here, because when I write it down, it makes total sense. When I say it, it twists sometimes, but I don't want that to happen. And if you can't think about this context of favor for yourself, I want you to remember that when we see the people we love, it lights us up, right? I'm distanced from my children. All live out of the state right now. My original three. We have three that live here, three that are out of state, and three more that are way far out of state. So we have like three in Texas. That's closer than normal. But the point being that when we do a FaceTime or I get to see a photo of them, it makes me smile. I love their faces, right? Love your face. It's so important. It's so important. And Margaret is talking about, during the Time to Rise Summit, one of the amazing exercises that Tony did was the parts exercise, the archetypes exercise. And he talked about your inner warrior, your lover, that lover. And it's kind of what I'm talking about, right? Getting in touch with the lover in you, not just loves outside, but loves you. And it's a beautiful exercise. I already have been asked by Jen, one of our champion voyagers, to work on that little piece there with the warrior and the different archetypes. We have the wise, sovereign position, and we have our magician. And you basically just get in touch with those parts of you that rise to the surface in times of need. It's a personality type that gives you strength. It gives you belief in yourself. It gives you that extra love that you need. And it's so good to recognize them when they come up. I remember driving one day and I started to get down on myself. And I almost immediately heard myself say, wait a minute. Thank you for being so determined. Thank you for being the person you are. And I basically heard in my own head the champion in me coming forward and believing in myself and reminding myself, hey, you are doing a really good job. And I know that sounds kind of freaky, like there was all these different personalities in my own body, but they were. And I appreciated that one that stepped forward and recognized what I was doing. And that's what I want you to get in touch with, is that part of you that knows how hard you're working, that understands you, that loves you for who you are. Really show that favor on yourself. And then the third thing, of course, about favor is to bless others with favor. I already talked about just mentioning something about someone as you go through the steps, of life, that you can see them and recognize and appreciate them, say something nice about what they're doing, how they're making you feel. The other thing, as crazy as this is to show up, be present in your own life. Look at people, stop hiding. So many of us are like, we do the Zoom thing, right? And we don't play full out. You can see it when you're in a Zoom. You can watch and see the people that have their screen on, but they're doing something totally different. They're barely listening. Maybe they're on their phone. They're talking with people. They're not present. But the people you connect to are the ones that are full on in. They're watching, they're listening, they're engaged in the material. That's also how you can bless people. You can bless people by being present, by listening to them, by being a part of whatever it is that's going on with you guys together. And so show up today. That's all that it's talking about. Just like I said with the promo video. I had that opportunity and I had some tech difficulties. Like I said, we had just moved, things weren't great, and I couldn't get my video uploaded. The technology wasn't working the way I wanted it to. And I almost gave up. I almost didn't do it. And I mentioned to the guy that I was having issues, and he gave me a different link and said, send it here instead. And I took that extra couple of minutes it took me to send it. And I looking back on it, see all the moments that I could have been like, nope, I don't have time for that today. And instead, I got to be a part of something that made me really excited and that I get to use this year as a tool to help people understand this world of Tony and the things that we can do together. So how fun is that? So I just implore you, if you will, show favor to yourself, to others, and to the situations you're in, and see how life changes for you, because there's favor on your face. There's no doubt about it. And, we have a face for a reason. So speaking about showing up, today after our live, we have a Zoom. It's a connection event that is going on. And this is for new members, old members. If you're watching right now, you are welcome to come as well. I will drop the Zoom link into the comments right after we end in a few minutes. And you can come into the Zoom and enjoy getting to meet the new members, talking about what's going on in your life and the things that we have going on in our community. And it's a chance for us to show favor to each other. It's so much easier for me to connect with people that I've already met in the community, that I know your backstory, I know what's going on in your life. when you show up for my events and you're commenting and you're doing things, you're letting me in on your life, I can build programming that supports us as a community. So there's favor on you showing up in that way as well. Other things I wanted to mention is that the next big event we have going on is the masterclass. It will be February 14th, 15th, and 16th. So that is a Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday. And the topic will be introduced very soon. The weekend workshop will be that Saturday. So we go right in masterclass and then time to really process and work on that. And all of this is in preparation for the 90-day program opening up to those of you that aren't already in it, where we set our goals for the 90 days and put our benchmarks in place so that we can be on task and working on the things that are important to us. So speaking of that, we are at the last week of the month. It is Monday, the 29th, and our month of January, the first month of 2024, is ending this week. And we do a little thing at the end of the month where I'll put a post up for you to share your wins this month. Or if you were working on a goal and you just didn't quite make it, that's considered a lesson learned. Even if you had to shelve it because of different things came up, or you struggled, you procrastinated, whatever that is, you can mention it in the goals post as well. And that puts you into the monthly drawing for prizes and different things. I have my, let's see if I have it handy, but it's just right here. Your name will go into the little bin, and then I will pull it out, and I will do that next Monday so that you will be able to get your free one-on-one with me. So if you would like to share your goals or the goal they started with this month, and whether or not you were able to succeed with it or what lessons you learned, you will be entered into the pot. And every month it continues in here. So your entry this month will continue all through the year, and we'll keep pulling them out. And that will happen on Monday next week. So you have until midnight of the 31st, so Wednesday night, to be posting what you have in there. And so I'll put that in there. I'll send it out to everyone and let you guys know that that's an option. Okay, we have just a few more minutes before the newcomers event starts. And I want to start being very intentional for us about action. It is so important that we're just not listening. We're just not taking in more info that we're drowning in, right? But what is one action? It can be super small if that's what you need, or it can be massive action because that's what you're driven to do. But what is an action you will take today as a result of listening about favor on your face? I'm so excited to hear your input into the community and to know more about how this is working for you. All right. So excited for our upcoming event, and I look forward to seeing you guys really soon. Have a blessed day.